Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's replay, where today I will be showing you a masterclass, or, well, at least a semi-masterclass in the Tier 10 auto-loading French medium light tank, the Batchat 25t, because this isn't really a medium tank, nor is it really a light tank, it's more of a specialist tank. But that doesn't matter at all. What matters is it's an auto-loader with 5 shots that do 390 damage each with like a clip potential of 1850, 1950. I don't know for sure, it's somewhere around that. And this replay is also out to loggers on Discord, or at least I'm going to pretend it's out to you. I don't know, sure. But we'll say it is, So, we are on the Fjords map, and we spawned in the east, and I do apologize also in advance for the replay that we have to use. Oh, not the replay, the replay system, because you won't be able to see my ammunition count, or not the ammunition count, the amount of shells in my magazine, but I'll tell you all the time what I kind of have. So, what do I like to do on Fjords? You can already tell. I like to go to this bush. We're a pretty good scout tank. We're very fast, and I like to go to this bush, although you got to be a bit careful because it's very predictable. And occasionally I like to try to shoot people crossing, and I'm going to try it with this pattern, but we only hit the tracks, unfortunately, because RNG is not on our side, I suppose. I guess, whatever reason. But 4 out of 5 shots, not a good start yet. But, I'm just trying to spot and poke around this bush. And I think about reloading here, and maybe it would be a wise choice to reload here, but at the same time, I still got 4 shots in my clip, and 40 seconds for 4 or 5 shots is a long time. So we're not going to reload yet, and we don't really need to either. It's not really dire or really needed yet to reload. Now, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to wait for these enemies to push around the corner a little bit, and I'm going to try to clip them out. But I do see that my team is moving, and since nobody's in the south, I actually do want to kind of get out of that area before anybody shoots me in my flank. So I'm going to go after this pattern, and I manually aim the first shot. I auto-aim the second shot, which is why I missed so badly, and I also auto-aim the last shot, and then I go on a reload. Now, that could have gone a little bit better, clip-wise. 1 out of 4 shots isn't particularly great. When you auto-lock like I did, make sure your gun is on the target. I kind of rushed the second shot while pulling around that corner on the pattern, but I kind of just wanted to get out of that area because we do kind of need to push this flank. Now you can see I'm kind of waiting to set up an ambush on this Death Star, or not set up an ambush, really kind of go in at this guy. And I'm actually waiting for him to turn his attention to all my teammates coming around the corner, although an E3 does get lit up and spotted. Now, I actually go for the E3, and I also go for tracking shots. And the reason I go for the E3 is because I'm presuming my team is going to kill the Death Star. Because, I mean, it's a Death Star. I mean, what are you going to shoot when you got the front of a Death Star or an E3? Where are you going to shoot? The Death Star, of course. So, we get a good clip out on the Death Star, the E3, and we pretty much full health clip him except for 1 shot that another teammate fired into him. Which means that we were able to also secure the kill because we can't really clip out an E3 on our own, but since somebody gave an extra shot down into him, we were able to just pretty much fully clip him out and kill him. Now, here's what I'm trying to do on this next part. We're reloading, and I'm kind of just lingering around while I wait for my reloading, paying attention to the map. And as I predicted earlier, we kind of lost the south. There's nobody in the south anymore, except for that T-57 Heavy who literally just died. Technically, he was in the middle, but you get the idea. He was in the south. Now, for a second there, I was trying to set up an ambush on the 215B. I was kind of trying to wait for him to push up. But he didn't, so I'm actually, I kind of linger around a bit here, just a lot a bit here, actually. I decided to not help these guys out over here, and I was going to actually go with the Batchat and try to kill the Arty, but I decided that maybe this game isn't a complete lost cause, and the teammates over here are still in a good amount of health, so we're actually going to go ambush this machine and get a couple of shots into him and hopefully kill him. So we get 1 shot into him. We get the second shot into him, and unfortunately he's going to get away and also get a shot into us for some fortunate reason. we're going to miss the Yak Tiger with our third shot, kill him with our fourth, and we're going to get a snapshot into the Death Star, and that's our clip, and we are going to run away from here. Now there is a 215B right behind us, who is a 2-shot for us. And he does get a shot into us, but right now he's trying to chase a Batchat. For whatever reason, he's trying to chase a Batchat. So that's smart of him to do. Yeah, that's not smart of him to do, and you're going to see why in a second. So we're reloading right now. Now we asked this Batchat 12t to follow us, because we're going to give the good old FV215B the good old switcheroo. Right now, he's very isolated from the rest of his team, and we can easily kill him. Now, we're going to probably take a shot from him, although we're going to try to duck between these buildings and avoid a shot, and I think he actually fires the Batchat 12t, so we're going to get right up in front of him, somehow bounce a shot from underneath his tank or something, get one shot into him, and then get the second shot in, and then we're going to reload after repairing our driver. Now, that was a very smart play, and that's something you should kind of think about doing in some of your fast autoloaders, especially when you still have a good amount of health left, is that guy was isolated, and he was a very easy kill for us because he isolated himself from the rest of his team. So it was very easy to go and engage him. Now what we're going to do, we're going to try to regroup with this artillery. We still have an arty left on our team, still by the spawn, and we kind of want to get up there anyway, because there's a bit of high ground back there too, so that we can possibly use. Now we could have gone straight through the center, although we're going to take the long way around here, because there could always be somebody perched up in the little bit of the middle area that could try to get a sniper's nest down onto us, or a sniper shot down onto us. And in fact, any second now, yes, there was the Death Star. Now the reason we also came screaming through the middle like that was we wanted to try to spot anybody through the middle, but not be a big, easy target for them. We wanted to spot them for our artillery, because maybe the arty can be useful still at the end of the game like this. Now I do try to ramp up there, and kind of fail a little bit. But the Batchat makes a bit of a misplay, played the entire match a little bit well up until that point, but he ends up screaming in front of or not screaming, what am I saying? Driving straight out in front of the Super Conch and the T-57 Heavy, and I mean, in this kind of a situation, I mean, it's a Batchat 12T against a Super Conch, a T-57 Heavy, and a Death Star. You got to feel bad for him. So now we're going to set up an ambush, and by the way, now we're switched to the good perspective, as I'm going to call it, where you can kind of see exactly what I'm aiming at, what I'm doing, and all this kind of good stuff. So we're kind of trying to spot anybody coming down through the middle for our artillery, and also because we want to set up an ambush and whittle down the health of people like that T-57 Heavy, because we can still pull this game back, especially since we're in the Batchat, and for me, this is a very, very good and adept tank, I guess. So the T-57 makes a huge misplay, and he YOLOs out after the arty, and we put 3 good shots into him, fluff the last shot down onto the rock, and now we kind of just got to get out of here. The arty is going to die. There's nothing we could do to save him. We do unfortunately take a hit, but we're going to duck down into these rocks, into this back alleyway back here, or not alleyway, but you get the idea, back into these mountains and bushes, and get out of dodge while we reload. Now, take into account, we now have 9 shots left in the Batchat. We're against the Death Star, which can definitely one-shot us. Take note of the health, by the way, of the enemies. The Death Star, we paid attention earlier, he's a one-shot. We know that for sure. We know the healths of the enemies that we are also against, the Super Conch and the T-57. The Super Conch is a 2 or 3 shot, maybe a 4 shot if we're very unlucky, although I think it's a 2 or 3 shot. And the T-57 Heavy is also a 2 or 3 shot. Now what we want to do right now, we want to hunt down the Death Star, because the Death Star can one-shot us. Now I do kind of, you could say I was cautious or aggressive here in the middle. I'm trying to aggressively spot him and hunt him. That's the ideal thing I'm trying to do right now, is find the Death Star, eliminate his gun, because his gun is a load of garbage and BS of this game. Although since I don't find him, I'm not going to try to go on a wild goose chase for the majority of the match, or I'm not going to try to get myself caught off I'm instead going to set up an ambush here on this hill, because my enemies are probably not going to expect me to be on this hill, and that's one of the things we do got going for us in this end of situations, or end of game situations is what I mean. Sorry, my English is bad, so I am having difficulty speaking, I guess. I don't know. So, no matter what, we can clip pretty much everything on the enemy team. We can't necessarily clip everybody with one clip, but we can, what we're just trying to do, we're trying to wait for somebody to come around that corner, because there's probably going to be somebody like that T-57 Heavy trundling through the center. Now, we do fortunately block a shot from him, which is exceptionally lucky. We auto-lock and then snap a shot into him. Now, and then we instantly reload. Now, just take note of this instance. The reason we instantly reload is because we probably can't kill the Super Conch with those remaining 2 shots we had. So I reload, I'm going to completely disengage, I'm going to get out of there, reload a full clip, because then I could possibly clip them. Now the Super Conqueror was spotted up right behind us, but we just got to keep going and hope he doesn't get a shot down into us. Now I got about, how long is that? 12 seconds on our reload. We're almost going to have a full clip loaded, and hopefully we can find this Death Star and eliminate him. And in fact we do, but he is on the high ground, which is very unfortunate. But we're going to make a very bold and risky play here. Ramp up, auto-lock, and get a good shot into him. Very good that penetrated and killed him. Very risky, but very high risk, high reward play, and it does pay off. Now, at this point, I think about reloading or not reloading. And now, while I said at the beginning of the game, it is a long time to reload lots of shots, this is a case where you would want to reload a full clip, because it's one enemy left alive. He's slow, and you're probably going to get away from him. And it's probably, with the way we're going to go around this map, we're probably going to have enough time to reload the clip and, be able to engage him. And I don't want to be stuck in a situation where I'm down to, where I missed maybe the 4th shot in the 4 out of 5 shot clip I had, and have to reload one whole shot for 40 seconds. So we're going to load in our last clip, our last 5 shots, and we're going to try to eliminate this Conqueror. Now, we can be a little bit risky with our shots, by the way, because we do, even if we miss maybe 1 or 2 shots, we should still be able to kill him. We're just going to have to close the distance with one of our last shots if we do miss maybe the 2 shots we can kind of play around with. And you kind of do got to be a bit risky in these kind of situations. Again, I'm trying to spot through the middle. This is kind of a very tense part of the replay or match, because I don't know where he is. He was last spotted up down here, and I'm going to go to the same position again because I can get quick vision out onto the center road down there, as you can see. But I can also pull back down if I need to, if it's necessary. And again, I'm going to try to spot down here. Kind of don't get up there like I wanted to, but not a big deal. So we're going to go down here, make sure we don't get ourselves killed by maybe hitting a wrong bump or something. Then get down here. We're really just trying to hunt him, but at this moment I think about looping back down the area down there where I did earlier, but we do spot the Conqueror and don't get spotted, which is fantastic for us. We get one good shot into him. Are we going to get another shot into him? Unfortunately, that shot does miss, but we still got 3 shots and effectively 2 shots to still play around with. Alright, now are we going to get another shot into him? Yes, we're still going to get another shot into him. He did fire, so that means we can possibly poke around to get another shot into him, because he did fire his shot and missed. And since we're an autoloader, we do reload faster, but he goes unspotted there, so I decide to disengage because I don't want him to potentially blind fire onto me. Now I'm going to pause this replay at this moment for just a quick second. So I could have gone around and looped around this mountain back there, but that probably would be very predictable. And in these kinds of situations, especially with autoloaders or any tank in general, you want to be unpredictable when it comes to ambushing your enemies. Now I could have gone around this mountain and just looped around the whole map again, but instead I make a hard left turn here. Alright, so we make a hard left turn here, and we're going to use these buildings as not necessarily cover, but more like just a way to stealth our way up down here and potentially get a good jump on the enemy because he's probably not expecting at all that we're going to be coming from the city, which is very good because, you know, you need to be stealthy and very smart about how you play end-of-game situations or just autoloaders in general like this. Now, we spot the super conch. The rock's a bit in the way, but we fortunately go around and snap a shot into it. Now, I just want to note that I'm going to pause. If we did miss that shot, which I would have been perfectly happy or fine with missing, with the last shot in our clip, we would have wanted to engage him at closer ranges, somehow close the distance and get a side shot onto him. And that's generally what we would have done in this situation. But since we had a couple of shots to play around with, I was a bit risky with some of them, I was a bit bold with some of them, and I was a bit snappy, and they did pay off. We were able to secure a win from a 1 versus 3. So, now that the match is done, we were able to secure a top gun for 6 kills, a high caliber for 7,263 damage, and a 535 assisted, and even a little bit of blocked damage. We got a nice hefty amount of silver because it was ×2 silver tier 10 weekend thing going on, and still kind of is actually. And we also got a mastery badge, which kind of unsurprising because of how much we carried at the end, but I mean, even though that was a mastery, I'd only really call this maybe a semi-mastery, like semi-masters class in an autoloader on Fjords, or I'm just gonna call it masters class. Whatever. I'm gonna create a whole playlist filled of videos called master classes on this map or something. I don't know. We'll see where that goes. But hopefully you enjoyed the replay and we're able to take away a little bit. Maybe will help you when you're in your battles, or help you when you're playing an autoloader with how to be a bit effective and efficient with them. Hopefully this was helpful. See you in the next video. Goodbye.